Hello and welcome to the PMBOK Guide 6th edition, Chapter 2. In our last episode, we covered Chapter 1, and Chapter 1 was an introduction. Now we're getting our feet even more wet into the world of the PMBOK Guide 6th edition. I call this series short and sweet because the purpose of this series is to get you on the right trajectory to understanding what exactly PMI mean by many of the things in the PMBOK Guide, and to be able to rapidly open up the book and know what exactly you're looking at. Because when I started this journey, it was very hard for me to go through the PMBOK Guide. It was trying to cut through steel. So hopefully by the time we get done with this short review, you'll be in a much better place of understanding to know what to look out for when you pick up the PMBOK Guide. Okay? So Chapter 2 is titled The Environment in Which Projects Operate. So let me give you the high level. Every project exists in a firm. It exists in the performing organization. Projects can also be perceived as existing in the receiving organization. Projects exist in a wider boundary than just a department. They exist within the firm, and all sorts of interactions are happening in that firm based on a number of factors. You could actually look at the underlying environment in which those projects operate as being an ecosystem of sorts. In the ecosystem, you've got organisms acting in various ways. You've got things happening in cycles. You have various animals consuming other animals. You have a recycling of sorts. So I would like you to liken the environment in which projects operate. I would like you to liken that to an ecosystem. A system of projects, of people, of business interactions, of various frameworks at play, governing how people should interrelate and how people should interact. You see, this is what Chapter 2 is all about. It's about immersing your mindset into the world of systems, organizational systems, okay? So when you think about the place that projects operate, it's important to remember that projects are influenced by the environment. Think the ecosystem. Organisms are influenced by the environment. They're influenced by other organisms around them. All right, so projects are influenced by the environment. Very, very big takeaway. Now, there are two big buckets of influence here. One is something called enterprise environmental factors. What are these enterprise environmental factors? A factor is something that can influence something else. So enterprise environmental factors in the world of the PMI are just internal and external factors that could impact your project. Again, they are not things. They are factors. Let me give you an example. The availability of cash is a factor. No cash available is a factor. Oh, cash is available. That is also a factor. But note, the cash itself is not the factor here. It's the availability of cash. Do you see where I'm going with this? So it's very important that when you think about these enterprise environmental factors, you are not thinking about things in themselves. You're thinking about what that thing could do to your project, what the availability of that thing could do to your project, what the impact of that thing could have on your project. All of those are factors. It's very important at this early stage of your studying to distinguish between tangibles, assets, versus factors. For example, you could have something that you would consider to be an asset. For example, a project management information system. Now, I know in the real world you would consider that to be an asset. But in the world of the PMI, the project management information system is considered to be a factor because it is something that governs how you communicate, how you manage.